Hello, amazing ones, and welcome. Today we're talking about what is possible beyond the massage table, beyond the yoga mat, beyond the personal training sessions. Part of what we love about Body Mind Coaching is that there you have so much more available to you than you realize, and part of what we do in this process is help you access that and bring it to life. And so that is why I wanted to invite the amazing Shana Hartman onto the interwebs today. She's a graduate of the program, and I'm going to let Shana share a little bit about where she was before and what shifted in the program. And Shana has also come on. She is our, what is your official role? She helps us with our Body Mind Living magazine. She's our managing editor of Body Mind Living, and which is a place where, part of what we believe as a company is that Body Mind Living is about doing the inner work to do the outer work. And so we created Body Mind Living for a place for our coaches to share and demonstrate what this work means. So Shana supports our folks over there. But Shana, can you share a little bit, where were you prior to Body Mind Coaching?
I was in my second postpartum kind of depression state. I had two. One led me to massage. My background is actually as a university English professor, which now makes a whole lot of sense and will soon when you know what I do now, and like my role as the managing editor. But I was just in a place where things were just dark and I had lost myself. I think many of us, when we get into that certain phase of life, or maybe we feel it all the time, but we don't really notice it. But I started to notice it early 40s, and I just didn't know who was I if I wasn't mom, partner, spouse, all the things, food provider, picker upper, schlepper. And so I was just in that place, and knowing I had massage practice, I was working full time as a professor, and I knew there was something else, but I didn't know what. And boom, the concept of coaching was delivered to me with Laura's beautiful face on it. And something just clicked. I just knew that was the pathway. I didn't know exactly how, but there was just something that totally clicked, because what I could see was possibility, like getting out of my particular, I live in a relatively small, I would call it rural, but it's probably called suburban, town outside of Charlotte and Asheville in North Carolina. And I wasn't going to be able to step out of my university position, which I wanted to do with just massage, like just the hand.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. But when I thought of coaching, I immediately knew that was going to allow me to access, just like we're doing now, hundreds of thousands of other humans that I could never access before, in a classroom or in the massage session.
Yeah. So just to clarify, because I think if anybody else knows this, who has the job and then they're doing their holistic services, massage, yoga on the side? I think we have a lot of folks who ride both of those lines where it's like, I have security in the job, but my heart is over here because I want to help people. And so I have this holistic practice that lets me do that. And the sense that I got, Shana, was, and I remember when you came to live that first time. It's very serious.
Yes, I was business. Tell me the thing.
Serious. Tell me how to do this. Just tell me how to do the damn thing, right?
So
and
it was get on with it.
Yeah, and I think that this is a place, like, I know you just chatted with somebody who is kind of in this place that's like, if you can just tell me how all the things are going to come in. If you can just show me that the money is there, and then I'm going to step in to do the thing. And I think part of the hard part about this process is the choice we're actually asking y'all to make is to choose yourself. Because when you choose yourself, the money and the way shows up. the longer you continue to try and choose, oh, I'm going to choose how it's going to figure out first, and then I'm going to choose myself, is actually pushing the dreams and desires and what you want down the road.
Because there's always going to be some other like tool or trick or tip or twist or, like how-to thing that you can do. And when you're focused on that and not your own embodiment and inner work and all of that, like, yeah, it is always a chasing, because there's always going to be something else.
Yeah.
When you're just sitting here like,
yeah. And Shana, part of your journey was you kind of did the little bit like, I'm going to go figure it out by myself first.
Yes.
So can we talk about that?
Yes.
And what that did? Yeah.
So I am for Kolbe assessment. I came to know once I was in the program, we do this beautiful assessment, which just helps you get to know yourself better, and how you take action. I am a quick start, and I'm also a fact finder, and they are about the same level, and they have fun with each other. But I now know through my own work that I quick start first typically, and then my fact finder comes in to help me, not hinder me. But I saw Laura, basically like a PYB, Package Your Brilliance, kind of like we did, like just the concept of a program. And I got an immediate click. And so I went and put together a program. It was literally like 2 pages of all stuff, all the things. And I did like Laura said, like, go talk to like your 5 clients who you feel like your best clients, or the ones who you think, just might be interested in something else. And I offered it to all of them. And one of them said yes. And I call him like he was my God, yes, even though he was like retired military veteran, like somebody I don't work with now. And I was shocked like that he was the one that said yes. But he was yes. It was a $2,600 program, and he paid in full. Boom. So you want to talk about like immediate, okay, I'm doing the thing. This is what I'm doing. So we go through that program, and I'm like, I don't need anything else, But then I started to realize like, okay, there was still something in me, like I'm doing this support with this other person, but of course, questions showed up, and how do I do this? How do I do that? And so I wound up going and investing in something just a little bit like teeny tiny, just a 500 something that was just some like support for me, kind of cultivating a morning meditation time. So notice I went and did something that like supported me, but it was, financially I felt like, okay, well, I made this so I can buy this little thing, right? Invest this little thing. And then, of course, as I did that, I had another client showed up, and they weren't a massage client. My first one was massage and coaching. This other person didn't want massage for personal reasons. So I started coaching them. But again, it was interesting. I'm just realizing this now. That was a much lower cost, like significantly lower. So I
wait, so you did the thing where you said, oh, if I'm not physically doing the work and this is coaching and it's easier, let me charge less because it's easier for me. So you were doing the same thing that so many of you are gonna unconscious, like this is part of why we work with you, is because you think your value is deeply tied to you physically doing. And so when you offer something that is light and easy, you automatically lower the price, and that is part of why you continue to cycle. Okay, go ahead. By the way, I think your necklace might be hitting your mic. Something's hitting your mic, just as a heads up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yay. Okay.
Yeah. And so about 5 or 6 months later, like almost a little less than a year, not quite a little under a year, maybe like 8 months later, I realized, okay, I had gone and figured it out. Yes, I had a few clients. But there was still like, I realized that I hadn't fully stepped into this. I hadn't fully invested in me and what I knew was possible. And so that was why I knew like, okay, you're doing this, and stepped into BodyMind Coaching in 2019.
Yeah. And amazing. And Shana, can you share a little now? Can you share a little bit about, well, I'm trying to think of where. All right, y'all. So one of the things that we teach, let me give context and then I'll ask the question. So BodyMind Coaching, it is designed to help you, support the holistic modalities that you do. And I know so many of you are sitting there like, I want this, but I need to figure out how to pay for this. I'm going to say this again. We show you when you step into the program. The choice you get to make now is you get to choose you. And that is the scariest thing to choose. And that is the most powerful thing to choose.
Yeah.
And around that, we show you how to raise your rates. We show you how to own for all of your time. Like we are with you as you do this. So, and when you come in, part of what we do is we're actually looking to source not just your brilliance of what you do in your holistic business, but the brilliance of who you are as a human being. What, all of the magic and brilliance that you bring into your work, when you understand how to have that container, when you understand how to support people through coaching and how to help move them, you access, I think there's just this piece that it's like, a lot of you are looking at, how do I put this into this little confined thing of what my business is right now? And what we're trying to say is, we're actually asking you to access something even beyond what you can't even see right now.
Yeah. That you don't even know yet. Because you can't. Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, how did that show up for you? Because you actually, so you still do body work, mm-hmm. and your coaching has nothing to do with what happens on the table. However, right. I venture to guess it actually, the heart of your body work is very present in the coaching that you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about that journey and where you are now?
Yeah. So it mimicked, what I was going through. So the initial was kind of around self-care, and particularly women and parents moms usually, who were doing all the things and just like me, had kind of lost their way. And that was great. And then that was growing so much in such unique ways. I started offering retreats when we could do that. This was 2019. And in 2020, I signed 3 clients, all virtual work in $10,000 programs. Those yeses and clients investing in themselves, right? That was the one that was okay, where is the limit? There is none anymore. And 10,000, in the grand scheme of things, that's that's not even a car, maybe a used car, right? That's not even a car. That's not even a house. And that was just that, it was a number and a thing for me that I realized, and not doing hands-on, I just get to show up, support people in what is showing up for them, and trust that I can bring all of these tools that I would normally do in hands-on, helping people tap into themselves, helping people make connections to the pain and frustration they're feeling, in their body, in their soul, that I can do that in so many different ways. And that was the thing that led me to then being able to, last year in May of 2022, step away from my university position. And it was literally when, as soon as I said, I'm done with this, that I had the click of, well, I'm an English professor. My main thing that I love about why I became an English professor is I love writing. Mm-hmm. I love supporting people and realizing that they are writers and they have something to say. I'm a BodyMind coach. And then these two came together, and it was just what I've been doing. And I realized I didn't call it embodiment, but what I've always done is help people tap into, what do they want to say? What does their soul want to bring out on the page, the screen, whatever they're doing, whatever they're creating and expressing. So now I'm an embodied writing coach, and I support heart-centered business owners in sharing their core messages in a book.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Right. So did you know this before you started BodyMind Coaching?
No.
Did you?
No. Even though I was
yeah,
I'm I should have known.
Well, here's my other question, because you also, so yes, you said yes, you said yes to BodyMind Coaching, even though how is this all going to work out?
Yeah, no.
You also did something else where you said yes to you first. Did you know that this was going to be the answer when you resigned from your teaching position?
No, I didn't know.
You chose to resign first and then this showed up, right?
Yeah. And I will say even too, like I actually said the words out loud months before it actually like happened. And like saying the things, stepping, and I had support surrounding, like I was in BodyMind coaching with all of this. I don't know that I could have come to that without my own inner work to say like, I can stand in my power and my presence. And even though on the outside, like, why you guys, I was like tenured, full professor, like at my institution, that I was at the pinnacle, you know, of achievement in so many ways. It was not a logical thing to do. There was a guaranteed paycheck. Not much was expected of me. I could have totally like all
Coasted.
but yeah, I mean completely. And that because I had done such inner work, that was so ridiculously unaligned with me. It made my skin crawl. I literally like was having physical issues going on because I'm getting teary because I was staying in that like every day, driving up, going to that office. Like I was doing everything I could to minimize how long I was there. In the classroom, like, yes, I love that part. I love being with those people, you know, just like with, you know, people who are probably doing hands-on stuff.
You love being with your clients. You
Yeah,
love
you love being with your
the work
clients.
itself is soul sucking, and which is why you're here.
Right.
And I think that's go ahead.
I was gonna say, and you know how many like messages I've received from former students and all that are like, oh my God, it's so amazing to watch you and see you step into this and have this business now and support people in this way. Like I get those messages all the time. I ran into one of them and she sidled up to me at the store and was like, hey, your business, oh my God. You know, like
so wait, you're actually inspiring the very students you taught
yes.
of what might be possible for them,
Yes.
that they get to create their own future, and that you choosing
Yeah.
yourself was actually the inspiration that they might need to take their next step.
Yeah, whatever that might be.
Well, and so you bring there's a couple things that are popping up as you share this is number one, I think for a lot of folks listening, like that, you know, they're in that place where good is the enemy of great. And I think a lot of holistic practitioners, what you love about your work is the connection, is the, like, you love helping people. And what's happened is it's gotten formulated into this belief that the only way you can do that is within the context of massage or yoga or acupuncture.
And if
so,
you don't, you're like rejecting the things that you like in some way.
And
right?
so you tolerate the way you're working because you think you need to work that way to have the connection, the collaboration, the contribution that you love. And it's why you feel like you're going like this.
Yeah.
And how often, and so much of this, like thinking like, if I choose me, I'm automatically taking away from the things that I love. And we're actually trying to tell you, when you choose you, you're actually going to amplify the things that you love. And we're actually going to take away the shit that hurts.
Yeah.
And your brain is sitting here doing this spiral thing of like, just tell me how this is going to work and I'll go figure it out. And then I'll say yes. And we're trying to tell you, you actually have to say yes and step in for this to be undone. This is a process. This is what we help you do. Yes, we'll help you coach. Yes, this undoing piece right here is what we are actually helping you do. It's just really hard to say in a marketing message, but right? It's so you have gotten caught up that the only way you can help people is if you put it into this box, and we actually want to remove the box and open you up. Yes, that if you love we have a lot of folks who use hands-on work with their coaching, and it's amazing and it works for them. And when you stop taking away your doing with how you help people, amazing things open up, right? Shana is charging 10, actually 20. She has a $20,000 program right now. This is where the leverage comes from is the undoing of what is up here in your brain.
Yes. and that you don't have to do it by yourself. Like having this, I have people who those $20,000 programs allows me to employ other people to support, and that just enhances and it's only going to go up from there. Like, I know there's going to be $100,000 program at some point, and it's not the money.
Oh, I already know what it is, by the way, when you said that. It just like dropped in for me.
Of course you do.
Go ahead.
Like, I know that. And whenever and however that happens, like, I don't need to hold on to that. It's just that kind of, it's not the money. It's just this permission for myself, from myself.
Yeah.
That is forever there. Yes, still have the gremlins and the doubts and all the things, but they're now my signs and support. Actually, they just don't always make me feel good. Right? I told someone today, like they kind of do a crappy job of they seem not so comfortable, but they actually become the signs. Like, oh, this is showing up because this is actually, they're trying to keep me safe.
Yeah. Well, so there's two things that you say in this that I want to come back into. So first is, as you talk about this idea of the gremlins keeping you safe, I'm reminded of something Philip Shepard told me, is that we all have a need for safety and a need for freedom. The challenge is people who chase safety find neither, and people who chase freedom find both. What happens is this is the second part of this. I kind of want to get a little compassionately angry for those of you who your heart is clearly saying this is a yes.
Yeah.
And your head is sitting here saying, and let me go figure it out. Let me go find the right time. Let me go put 1, 2, 3 in order. What you are doing is you are choosing neither. You're actually losing your sense of safety. You're losing your sense of freedom because you're trying to figure out what this looks like within the confines of the very same thing that is keeping you stuck.
It showed up when you said that, Laura.
What?
It's like that idea of, you want the guarantee, but when we operate from that idea of chasing safety, the guarantee is like, you're going to have what showed up is you're going to have a false sense of enough, or a false sense of safety. Like I had in my university position, that felt safe and guaranteed. When like, if nothing has, we've learned nothing, like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Especially after the past 2 years, like.
Exactly. And who better, like, the one thing I do know exists, right, and continue to, is like my own personal faith and strength and who and how I am made to be. And the more I continue to tap into that, right, like that becomes the guarantee.
Yeah. One of the things that I admire so much about you, Shana, is your willingness to speak up around systems of oppression, systems that continue to target and marginalize communities. And I feel like part of what you're saying here is part of the deeper work. And again, when we talk about, for me, I know embodiment and justice work go hand in hand. And I'm very much on my inner journey and looking at what that looks like. And we're, internally in our company, there's a lot of things that we're doing. And I know this is a lifelong journey and a lot of shit that we have to work out and shift. But as you say this, like, just what comes up is I hear your passion around this idea of oppressive structures. And I feel like this is one of those things of, for us, the heart-centered healing community, I feel like we were fed a lie centuries ago that said, if you make money, if you speak up, if you're too big, then you're somehow hurting people, and you need to go in your place and play small and figure it out and have the next 20 steps figured out before you speak up and take care of everybody and give and give and give. And that is the very same way all the systems keep us from actually making the change that we want to make.
Yeah, because if we're spinning over in that, we can't actually look critically at and make a difference and have the resources, our time or our finances, to actually make the changes that we want to see, that we feel called to do, because we're spinning in all of that just enough, how to give, and all of that. And so it allows that system to continue because we're willing to be a part, or we feel like we're supposed to be a part of that wheel, that cog in the system.
Yeah. What would you say? I mean, like, I'm curious if this resonates with anybody, and just what would you say? Like, what is the shift? What is the choice? What is the step that gets to happen to start to dismantle a lot of those systems?
I mean, I
Can
think
you just solve world peace right now is what I'm asking.
Okay. Ready, everyone? Here we go. No problem. I mean, one, it is to fully be connected to others and can start to make that change. Like, you've got to be fully connected to you and what you want. And, can you answer those questions? Like, what do you want? What do you desire? And if there is any, and I don't mean hesitation, like, let me get into it and step into the vision and get embodied and get connected. I mean, do you literally sit there and like, oh gosh, I know one of our graduates, when Emerge, talked about, like, that question alone, like, what makes you happy? What makes you smile? What do you want? Like, realizing that's a sign right there. Like, realizing if you can't answer that question because you are so for and give to other people, that's a disconnect. You have disconnected. And if you want, like, you've got to get back connected to yourself, so then you can connect to others, connect to community, connect to that change that you want to see. The first step is you.
Absolutely.
And you are significant enough, right, to make a shift, because when you do it and then you support other people in doing it, it is that beautiful wave that we talk about in BodyMind.
Yeah. And it is how many times have you told your clients to choose themselves? How many times have you asked your clients what makes them happy? How many times have you told your clients to establish the boundaries, or, that life is body, like the body, mind, soul? How many times have you said that? Yet it's not being honored in how you're showing up. This is where it starts. You are the wave. You are the gift. This moment in time here is about choosing yourself and choosing to believe in yourself, and even thinking about, decide who you want to be. What decision would that person make about this moment, about choosing themselves? I think, we as team, like, we hear stories every single day of folks who are stuck, who are cycling.
And who have the belief. I just actually had someone tell me this earlier today. I don't want to take away from my family. So if I choose me or something that's investing in the work that I know I'm here to do,
that's the oppressive system right there.
If
I choose me, I'm taking from somebody else. And I think that also shows up again in money. It's like, we think if we're getting paid, we're taking from somebody else, and that's not how money works.
Yeah. Words, if you find yourself saying, I think that's okay to charge, I don't want to price people, I don't want to price people out. Like, if you're hearing yourself saying those things, just really, really lean in. And that's what's so great about the one-on-one coaching that we receive, is like, we get to lean into that stuff in the program and really have conversations about what really that question is, which I think turns back to, can I receive for being me?
And the truth is, when you choose you, the world gets more of you. Your kids get more of you. But it's different. They get the full you. They don't get the segmented parts of you, compartmentalized you. They get the full you. Just any final thoughts? And I want to put this in there just for folks who are ready, who hear this. And it's like, I know you've been talking to folks. Is there any final words just for those who are out there who are like, I really like hearing their heart say, I want this, and their head doing its thing?
Yeah.
What would you like to say to those folks?
The first thing that showed up was like, you are worthy of receiving. I came into the program really for what I felt like was the business side of things. I wanted to know how to put it together. Like Laura said at the top of our conversation, like when I went to live, I was like, I want to know the things so I can get out there and do it. And it was coming from a good, like, it was still heart-centered. I still wanted to make a difference and all of that. But I think the word that shows is like, I wanted to be efficient. I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted to get it there. Ultimately, because I felt like if I didn't, like, I don't know what, I was going to lose something, right? What I didn't realize was how powerful the community was going to be for me. Where's my little, yeah, here she is. This is my special avatar.
Yes.
And in that, I always relied on the independent side of, right, that avatar, that idea of Wonder Woman. Do all the things, be all the things. And there's a yin and yang to that. And there's a vulnerability on the other side. And when I was allowing myself to be in community with others who were on their journey as well, like I got to receive so much just to connect with hundreds and, ultimately, because I feel like even though we have this intimate group for each wave, I was connected to everyone before it and so on and so forth. And like, I get to message them. We have conversations. We're on each other's podcasts now. We're going to do retreats together. Like we've supported each other. We've hired each other. We refer each other. It is like coming into an everlasting world of people who want to continue to grow and evolve and do good things in the world. And I didn't realize how much I needed that. And what I realize now is even if I didn't learn any business thing, even if I never sold a single thing, I was worthy, just as worthy as my house is for like receiving a new hot water heater, right? I was worthy of receiving in this way and investing for that.
Yeah.
My resources. I was worthy of that. And because of that, like, you don't even know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
When you say yes to that.
So
click
good.
the button.
So good. Just go press the button.
Go press the button.
thenewbodymind.com/activation is just say yes. Come in. You're ready. And we are so excited to support you in this journey. So we look forward to seeing all of you there, and we'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.